Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced Stream. I'm Richard. Richard on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Joey at J1 on the MakeCode forum.
And I'm Sarah. Sarah on the MakeCode forum.
Sorry, I'm hearing myself more than usual for some reason, and it's making me trip over all of my words. If you hear yourself at a slight delay, it makes it way harder to talk.
Is it because you're sharing your screen instead of an app? Or is that an option?
I always do it this way.
Okay.
Okay. So what are we doing today? It's a classic Friday stream, so we're just gonna be messing around. And I thought we'd do some fun music stuff. So we worked on this, I don't know, a long time ago at this point, where we made this little Euclidean rhythm generator thing. Basically, what this does is it generates Euclidean. Okay, let's actually reset this and talk about Euclidean rhythms. Okay, so Euclidean rhythms are an algorithm for making rhythmic patterns. And these are like really popular in like the music composition world right now. There are lots of like sequencers and stuff you can buy that have like a Euclid rhythm generator because they're fun. They're kind of good for getting like inspiration and you can just kind of like mess around with them. And most rhythms that you are like familiar with can be expressed as some combination of three parameters that make up Euclidean rhythms. So what are those three parameters? Well, we have them up here. There are steps, beats, and shift. Okay. So the steps is the number of steps in a loop. So we have 16 here, and that is equivalent to the number of pixels that this image right here has. All right. And then beats is the number of notes we want to be played within those steps. So we have 4 notes. So those are the pink pixels here. Okay. So we have 16 steps. We have 4 notes within them. And basically what Euclidean rhythms do is, given a number of beats and a number of steps, how can I space out these notes such that they are like the most evenly spaced they can be? And that ends up doing some really interesting rhythm stuff. So for 4 beats, it's actually really boring because it fits perfectly inside of 16 notes. So let's do a different thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 7. Okay. So now you can see we have 7 does not divide into 16. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, blank, blank, 1, 2, 3, blank, blank, right? And if I go ahead and play this, okay, so we have kind of a fun rhythm going on. And if I wanted, I could, increase the number of steps or something, or just like put in some more here. So yeah, let's do this. So this is doing 3, then rest, 3, rest, 3, rest, 3, rest, right? And the way that we're generating the notes, so Euclidean rhythms are just for doing rhythms, right? So like when the notes play and like the amount of spaces in between them. And we kind of just are using a pseudo-random number generator for our notes, which we're resetting for each loop. So if I actually press B, it'll change the seed, so the notes will change. So you get the idea. The way that we're doing this exactly is we have this pseudo-random number generator that's choosing the notes that we play, but we're constraining them to a scale. So right now we're using a major scale right here. If we want to, we can make this sound more somber by making it a minor scale. Well, this is Frere Jacques. Okay, so it's much more somber when you use the minor notes, right? And then we can use one of the other random scales too. So I think we have like Mixolydian in here. Yeah. I don't know how to feel about the Mixolydian scale. Anyway. Yeah, so this is what we're kind of messing around with. And I thought it would be fun to make something, turn this into something, I guess. Like some sort of ID generator for generating melodies, you know? And so, I don't know, kind of opening into the floor. See, there was a specific product that I was interested in that I saw. Okay, and let me go ahead and just pull up a picture of it. Give me a second. Move it over here. This was a synthesizer, which I am not actually interested in owning, but I liked the idea. Created by the lead singer of Tame Impala, of all people.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. But it's called the Orchid, and the reason he made it was to be like a little idea generator for coming up with melodies. Okay, so you have keys for you have scales that you can select between over here, right? So diminished, minor, major, sustained, sixth, all of those. And then there are all sorts of little options for you to like basically record a little sequence of notes, have that loop, and then you can kind of do like a melody on top of it. And you end up, kind of just composing little songs by just combining these things. And it's not, the output of this is not meant to be like the song. It's meant to be like, okay, now I have an idea and I'll go record this with guitar or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like specifically for making
like a brainstorming device.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I thought it would be fun to do that, like come up with some way we can make something like that for like inspiring you for making little melodic loops and stuff. So I don't know. Does that sound like fun at all?
Yeah.
Okay. So first, let's go ahead and edit our thing a little bit. So right now, it's not actually showing you what notes it's playing. I feel like it would be useful, in addition to this rhythm, if it showed us the actual notes that are being played, so that we have something to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, what I want to do here is I want to keep this basic interface, but we'll show the notes, like I said, and then I want you to be able to make layers, right? So we'll be able to say like, okay, this one should be in this octave. This is the bass track. And then this is like the melody track. And this is like the drum track, And then you can just put all those together and get a fun little loop. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll do something stupid like making it output an actual song to the serial so that you can load it into the music editor.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's go. Okay. So, first thing we're going to need here is we need some way to figure out what note we are playing, right? And we're already getting the frequency, but we need some way to turn that frequency into like the letter note. I want to see like A sharp or D or whatever, as we're playing notes. And I would like those to be displayed somewhere. So let's do that. So right now, the way that we're getting the note, by the way, let me get rid of all of this extra stuff here. This is all stuff we're not actually using. Okay, so we have this get scale frequencies. All right, this is taking in a scale and it's taking in a base frequency. And we are then inside of here, we are pushing calls to this get frequency function. And this get frequency function takes in a base frequency and then a number of semitones to step up. So a semitone is one key on the keyboard. It could be either a white key or a black key. So what I think I want to change this to be is I want to make a function which is going to be get frequency, and it's going to take in MIDI note number. All right, and then I want a get note name, and take in a MIDI note number. All right, so this one's going to return a string. This one's going to return the frequency. And I'm going to change this one to be calc frequency. And by the way, to get the frequency for a MIDI note number, it's actually really easy. So we looked this up. The lowest MIDI note is 8 hertz. So that's 0. So every MIDI note goes up 1 semitone. So all we have to do is do calc frequency, pass in our base frequency of 8 hertz, and then pass in whatever the MIDI note number is for our semitones. And that's what we want to return. All right, that's easy. So get note name. Okay, this one's a little bit harder. Let's do that. And by the way, I'm going to, we're going to alter all of this right now. So right now we're doing get scale frequencies. We're going to change this to be base note. And we're going to do get frequency of base note. And then here we're going to do get frequency of base note plus current. Like that. Now we're going to go down to where we're calling this right here. So this get frequency. We're going to instead change this again to be base note. That. All right. Toss that and then put this dot base note right here. Okay. I think that should handle that. And then up here, we have the seek.base frequency equals this. So we were setting this to MIDI note 70. So let's just go ahead and set that right there. Unsigned Arduino says, I did something similar before with a MIDI note to frequency conversion, and I ended up typing out the entire table from MIDI notes to frequency from 0 to 127. Good to know now that there is a formula. Yeah, so we actually learned this on stream a while ago. I don't know if there's any error to this at all, but the basic formula is just the base frequency times 2 to the number of semitones divided by 12. There are 12 semitones in an octave. So every octave just doubles the frequency. So if you think about it, this makes sense, because then if you go up 12, that's, 2 to the 1, so you're multiplying by 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to change this to be base note. And everything should be working again now. There is something oddly calming about this thing just playing notes for us. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the MIDI note name. So the way that MIDI notes are laid out, oh, we have to open up all right, piano octave. There we go. Okay, I don't want all of that. All right. So the way that piano notes are laid out and MIDI notes is they start at C. This is just a convention that goes back to how pianos have been made since the beginning of time. I wouldn't have chosen that. I would have chosen A, but I'm not in charge of pianos. So, so it's going to be C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B. Is what we want. We want to basically create an array of that. So let me go ahead and put this over here, put this over here, and then we're going to just say C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp. Okay, now there should be 12 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Okay. So to get the note name, all we have to do is, let's see. Outside Arduino says, is there an intelligent way to detect when to show, e.g., F sharp instead of G flat? No. So I think all of that is just based off of convention. So when I've messed around with other music sequencers, a lot of time they will have like an incidental setting where you can say like, I want it to be in sharp or I want it to be in flat. So you can just kind of like control that. But there might be some conventions for certain scales or something. I'm not a music theory major, so I honestly don't know like what the thing is. Sarah, do you play any instruments?
I did in high school. I think it
Wait,
was
let me
mostly...
guess. Viola.
No.
Dang.
It's in the brass section.
Okay. French horn.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
I feel like we had you didn't just pull that out of nowhere. I feel like we had this conversation before.
I think
I feel like you might have known this.
I may have forgotten, but I think I just chose my favorite brass instrument. So
well, there you go. On Start Arduino, it was both. I didn't do both of them at the same time, I don't think. I did like concert band for a couple years, and then I did marching for one, and then I don't think I picked it up since my senior year. But from it, and like also reading music with family and stuff, like my understanding of sharps and flats is just like when it's defined. I mean, to be fair, this is not electronic music making, but like when you're like defining the music that you're reading, like you just decide in the scale whether it's like whether the music that you're going to be reading for that note is going to be sharp or flat, and then like you change it in like God, I don't know all the technical terms.
none of us do. So
what are music lines called? Like the whole it's not a scale.
I don't know.
It's like
Music lines, right?
Staves? That sounds right on Side Arduino. I'll believe you.
I mean, they're like the staff is like the whole thing, though, right?
Well, you got okay. I'll try to post something in chat to explain what I'm trying to explain because I'm doing such a horrible job. I just don't. It's been so long since I've talked about the technical terms. I at once knew what these things were.
Okay. What have we done here? So this get note name, basically we're calculating the octave. So there are 12 semitones in an octave. So in order to get the octave, you have to take the MIDI note number and you have to divide it by 12, right? And then get rid of the remainder. And then to get the name, we just do the note names of the MIDI note number mod 12. And then where you want to return basically like C5 or something like that. So that's going to be name plus, and then this right here is just that, you know, some of our note names are one character, some are two, C sharp and whatever. So if it's one character long, I'm adding a space so that they all line up. And then we add the octave. All right, so let's print these out. We're going to go ahead and...
real quick, should we, wasn't there a convention that if it's octave 5 or whatever, like the base octave, that you don't show the number? Should we do that little thing?
I've never heard of that convention.
Oh, I thought that was normal. Okay.
Wait, so you would do like C1, C2, C3.
I mean, I think we do it in our like note picker and stuff like that is what I recall. But
our note picker says like low C, middle C, high C. It
Yeah,
doesn't show the octave number.
I don't remember exactly where I'm thinking, but I've seen it before and our logic, and I thought it doesn't matter.
I think I know what you're talking about, and I think it's because of the, like I said, the
Just
low
simplifying
C, middle C, like high C, and I think that there is one where it just says C, but I don't think that's like. I think that's just something we did. I don't think that's like.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Anyway. All right. So let's just make it print the note as it plays them. So we're going to make a variable, which is going to be last note's name. And we're going to go to wherever we're drawing to the screen right now. We must be drawing somewhere. Oh, okay. We're actually using some fancy text. Okay, actually, then we'll do that. And let's go ahead and choose a random font for this. I want it to just be bigger than the other text. Rounded, large. And now over here, when we do the play, let's see, we're going to go ahead and do const frequencies equals get scale frequencies this dot base note, and then this dot scale. And then we want to basically calculate an index instead of using this pick random. So we're going to go ahead and do rand index equals, and then do random dot pick random. Wait, no, random dot random range from 0 to scale frequencies dot length -1. Right. And then, oh wait, this isn't gonna. Okay, we're gonna have to change this get scale frequencies. Instead of pushing the frequency, we're just gonna put the notes. So we're just gonna put in the note numbers. And then we'll call get frequency down here.
Makes sense.
Okay, so we can actually change this back to pick random.
We probably want that as get scaled notes or something then, right? Or am I misunderstanding?
Yeah. We should rename it. We'll do that. There we go. And then this should be named rand. And then we're going to make this be get frequency of rand, like that. Okay. And we're going to rename this to get scale notes, like that. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and do note display dot set text to get note name of rand. And then we're going to do note display dot x equals 80, note display dot y dot top equals, I don't know, 70.
It looks so good.
We should maybe do a different font.
Oh, I like the bubble font.
You like the expanding it does?
Yeah. Like I don't know, like it's okay to expand. It's just like because it adds the aesthetic of like wholesome, wholesome melodies.
We only make melodies here. Well, it seems like it works. I do not have perfect pitch, so I cannot actually tell if these are the correct notes. But we're going to work under
No
the
idea.
assumption that they are.
Well, there are things that you can like check. Yeah. Oh god.
Yes.
Is it just like a pitch? What do you call that when you're like trying to tune a guitar? It's a tuner.
Yeah, I have a tuner somewhere in my immediate vicinity. I was using it like 2 days ago, but I don't know where it is right now.
If you just like put a tuner up to this, would it be able to tell you the right thing?
Yes.
Or-
In fact, I have done that before because there was an accusation that our melodies had the wrong frequency, and like I verified that it was correct. Anyway.
We have our best tuner on the case.
Yeah. Okay. I do think we need to like I do like the bubbly font, but if we do this, we need to make this all be one, like
Size.
yeah.
Aligned. I'll have you know, Sarah, when you said that, I heard we had our best tuna on the case, and for just a moment, I was like, "Why did you call Richard Tuna?" But you know,
I was imagining a detective fish, but
yeah.
Yeah, I actually thought of that as I was saying, I'm like best tuner, best tuna, and I'm like, oh, I could just like devolve this into a really like bad, yeah. Like meme.
we're gonna make a sharp icon.
Oh, so it doesn't have to be its own character. So it doesn't have
Yeah.
to shift anything. So it can be like above, like it normally is.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're gonna basically take over the drawing of this so that, you know, we can have a little bit more control over how it's spaced out. So we're going to just basically draw two characters. We'll draw the F, and then we'll draw the octave, and then we'll put the sharp up there if it's sharp or not. So let's actually get rid of this note display. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that. And we're going to make a function which is going to be called draw note. This is going to take in a note number. And for this, we are going to grab screen dot, fancy text dot draw font text. So this takes in a left, a top, the text, lines, a lot of arguments. Okay, we'll make it work though. I think maybe draw font text in box might actually. Nope, that doesn't make it any better, does it? I thought I made a nice, easy to use one here. Fancy text.draw. That's got to be it, right? There we go. That's what I wanted. All right, great. Okay, so we're going to do const name equals get note name of note number. Then we're going to say const is sharp equals name.car@1 equals sharp, right? So now we know if it's sharp or not. And then we're going to do the note equals name.car@0. And then we're going to do octave equals name.car@2. All right. So we're going to do fancy text.draw. We're going to pass in our, what's the order of arguments? Okay, so we take in the text first. So that is the note. We're going to take in our target, which is going to be the screen. Our left, which I'm just going to arbitrarily set to be 10. Top, which I'm arbitrarily going to set to be 90. Max width, which we're going to set to 0, which is, that means don't care about max width. Color, we're going to set 1. And for font, we're going to do font, fancy text dot rounded large. All right, cool. And now we are going to copy this, paste it, and we're also going to draw the octave, but we're going to set the left to be 10 plus, I don't know how wide these characters are. Let's just make it 30. They're probably not 20 pixels wide. And then we're going to say if is sharp, then sharp dot, screen dot draw transparent image sharp. And this is going to be, okay, I'm going to just do like a left equals 10 figures so I don't have to keep putting it around. All right, so we're going to do left plus 10 and then 90. All right. Okay, so we have this draw note here now. We're going to go ahead down here. Yep, last note name. We're going to change this to be a last note, make it a number. And we're going to do screen or scene.create renderable, give it as the index of 1. And then in here, we're going to go ahead and say if last note does not equal undefined, then draw note last note. And then down here, get rid of this and say last note equals red. All right. Okay, we're not getting any sharps, so press B until we get a sharp, I guess. Oh, there was one. Okay, so we need to nudge this around a little bit. We could also make this icon smaller, I think, probably.
They kind of just look angry. The notes are just angry.
Well, a sharp symbol is always going to kind of look like the anime angry.
Yeah.
What is that supposed to be like a vein popping out or something?
I have no idea. I think that makes sense. But I'm not gonna try to know.
So,
so small.
Yeah, we just need to like move it over a few pixels.
Yeah.
Move it over 4 pixels. Too far. 3 pixels. Okay. I guess it has to be 4 because of the G.
4 looks really wonky though. Like it looks like it's being applied. And maybe move it up. Like, you know,
I don't think that'll work.
Like a little bit of above. I don't know.
Look at 4 again and see how bad it is.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah, it actually looks pretty okay, I think.
Yeah. This like reminds me of when the Saints come marching in.
A little bit. Okay, Unsigned Arduino says, now try rendering the notes like the music editor. I mean, we could do that. That would be kind of fun, actually, right? Like, what if we drew a staff, and then we made the notes appear, and then, like, you know, just scroll off to the left? That would be kind of fun, right?
It definitely looked nice.
Yeah, okay, let's move this up to the top right corner, and now I want to do that.
Well, wouldn't it make sense to have them next to each other?
Yeah, but I want to take up the entire bottom.
Sure.
Okay, we're going to go to this. I should really break this code up into multiple files. And maybe delete all of the code we're not actually using. Draw a note. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to do const left, const top equals 90 is what it currently is. So let me just put that in there for now. Okay,
So
we're going to
everyone
change
says
left
the
to be.
sequence of notes I was just playing should be E flat major, I think. So I guess this is when you should render flats.
You say E flat major. I say it's D sharp major. So.
Woo! Yeah! We did it! We won the music game. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like whether or not you choose to render sharp, like, choose to do sharps or flat is really just contextual. I think that's the vibe that I get. But maybe I'm totally wrong, and music theorists would be like, "What's wrong with you?" And I just got I'm getting a random call, and so like, I don't know, the music theorists are coming after me. I just said it, and they're coming now. Oh, just gotta flip that over so I don't see that.
Okay, I also kind of want to draw the like playhead.
Where you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So we're going to. We have a sprite right now, which is our like image. So what we're going to do is every time we play a beat, we're going to go ahead and do s.setImage this.rhythm.clone, and then s.getImage. Wait, s.image dot set pixel I 0 green is 7. There we go. Nice and easy. Oh, okay. Let's also make it so that whenever we change anything, it automatically changes the current beat. Because right now you have to press A to like make it happen.
It's so
Somewhere
interesting
we must
watching
have.
this though, because it's like I feel like there's like a either lag or like
There's-
visual versus audio thing. Or like when I look at it, like I'm like it doesn't. My brain is like it's playing something, but it's too fast. I don't know. It's so it's something weird's going on in my brain.
I think it's right, but
No, I don't doubt that it's right. Like it's something about like showing notes in this way while also trying to interpret what note it is like it's like there's a short circuit happening.
oh, it didn't like that. Oh, I see. Okay, it's calling it before this gets defined. Let's see. I think the easiest thing to do is just to grab these 3 lines and move them down here.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like I hear the note being played and I'm trying to look at the thing being like where it's saying this note is being played, but that note is already passed. So like, it's like, wait, there should be my brain's like, there should be a rest there, but it's like, it's just because I looked at it too late.
Yeah. Right. Unsung Arduino is asking a question: are all the same length, like 8/16 order? Yes, they're all 16th notes currently.
Is that how it is for other synth things like this?
Like
what's the default?
Depends on what you're doing. All right. So most sequencers let you do longer than 16th notes. However, there is a certain genre of music called acid, which is very famous in electronic music, and it's built around this guy, the Roland TB-303, one of the most famous synthesizers of all time. It's funny. So there's a fun little history about the TB-303. So this is what's called a bass synthesizer, and it was created by Roland, which is a Japanese company. And basically, they made it in like the 80s, I think, and they wanted to create a synthesizer that could replace a bass player for section. All right, and so they ended up making this synthesizer, and it bombed. Okay, it sounded nothing like a bass player. They were like, everybody was like, "What is this? This is, not what we wanted." But then some people kind of rediscovered it and found out that it has a very characteristic sound that people really, really like. And so there's an entire genre of music that is basically based around using the TB-303 and making the filter really squelchy and putting it through an overdrive pedal. And it's called acid. Anyway. Why am I saying this? Because this guy has a sequencer built in. You can see it has these notes right here. And the sequencer worked in a really kind of interesting way, which is you just enter the notes one by one, right? So you would do like note, note, rest, note, rest, note, note, rest, or something like that. And then when you play, it would just go like and you couldn't really do note duration, so you get these kind of like fast staccato notes, which is kind of interesting. So this is closer to that model, right? Where we basically have a rhythm that we've entered in, and we have a set of notes that we're choosing from, and then it's kind of, just assigning those. This is a fun one.
Yeah. I feel like you can make some good melodies with this.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that music stuff. Well, let me think about it. Are we just gonna spend forever doing this?
What do you mean forever?
It will take a while. I can maybe copy code from PXT.
Just the rendering the scale part, or what part?
Yeah, so rendering the scale is kind of hard because, let's take a look. Okay, so as you can see, there are no sharps on this scale.
Sure.
Right? So basically, we have to figure out which line that we need to place the note on, figure out if it's a sharp or not, and then like put it in the right place, if that makes sense.
Or, I mean, you could do. Oh wait, no, you can't. I guess
it's not that annoying. Let's just.
So there's depending on. I guess this might be trickier or whatever, but kind of what our Unside Arduino was saying, like if we know what like major the notes are being played, you can just put whether a note is going to be sharp or flat next to the clef, and then so you don't have to do that.
We're not going to
You
do
don't
that,
have to
though, because
render
I'm not smart enough.
All right.
I mean, we can do it if you want, I guess.
I don't think I know less about music than you do, Richard. If you don't
I don't know
think
if that's true.
I can almost guarantee that that's true.
Okay, well, anyway, let's do this. All right, so how many lines are there in a music staff? Let's go ahead and just figure that out real quick. Do. All right.
Is it 5?
So, one,
I didn't
two,
look.
3, 4, 5. Yes, but it also goes down one more and up one more. With the secret line.
Right. I just went off the every. Did you? So did you ever take like a music class in school, Richard?
I did not, but I did
Oh my
watch
gosh.
Nickelodeon a lot, and in between episodes, they would occasionally do little educational songs, and one of
Right.
them was "Every Good Boy Does Fine." Da 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 da, and then the second part of that song was "Faces." Look at all these faces.
That
Because
rules.
if you haven't
Yeah.
figured out what I'm doing here, it's the lines are every good boy does fine, and then FACE. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I learned it too. I know that there are variations of like the mnemonic that you could use, but I also
yeah.
learned the lines are every good boy does fine and the spaces are faces.
Yep. Okay. So let's draw it. Let's see. Aside where it says getting closer and closer to Finale Pro or Muse Score, LOL. Yeah, no, that's not the type of music thing that I'm used to using. When I was making the music editor, I did play around a lot with Muse Score, but it's I do not normally use software like that. I am more used to hardware sequencers where I'm turning knobs and stuff. Anyway. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do draw staff. And we're going to go ahead and do num lines equals 5. Spacing. I should do these all in all caps. Equals, I don't know, 8. And we're going to go ahead and just do for let I equal 0. I is less than num lines, I plus plus. Screen dot fill rect. Okay, we need some sort of top. So we'll go ahead and do const top equals, let's see. So this is going to be 40 high plus 2 more is going to make it 56. So we would want it to be right around 60. So we're going to go ahead and do screen dot fill rect of the x we want to be 0, the y we want to be 60 plus I plus 1 times spacing. And then we want the width to be screen dot width, and we want the height to be 1, and we want the color to be, I don't know, that. Oh, right. Oh, God, that's a quarter. Ah, such an unforced quarter. Now Joey has to turn on the bot. He's sad.
I'm distracted. I'm not going to be able to turn it on for a second. Answer questions.
Okay, we actually have more room than I thought I did. So, let's make this actually be our top variable. And we'll set this to be 70. All right, cool. So we need to create a note on here. By the way, what are the rules for when you do... Okay, these are the rules, I guess. So if it's F, so the top line or above, then you do going down. And if it's the other ones, wait, no, this is not helpful.
No, I think it just depends.
Okay, this
I-
looks more right.
Yeah. Man, I wish I would. So I feel like, I don't know, a lot of the music that I've seen is just like, you just pick a direction and you don't change it. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know if there are hard and fast rules, especially since this bass clef and this treble clef are doing different things. We'll just have to choose. And then finally, what does a 16th note look like again?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry if you hear a bunch of banging. Our neighbors are doing something. I have no idea.
Alternative says, oh, don't forget about the natural symbol after a sharp. E.g., if you do A sharp, A sharp, A sharp, then you need a sharp on first and fourth note and natural on third note. No. I'm just going to put a sharp next to all the sharp notes and no sharp next to the non-sharp notes.
Wouldn't you only need the natural if like it goes against what the staff tells you? Like that's the way that I understood it. No, not that kind of staff.
This is not what I wanted. Yeah.
So yeah,
the natural, I feel like the natural is optional.
Yeah, all the music theorists are rolling over in their graves. But like the way that I would understand it, if it's like intuitive kind of thing, like you have the scales, the major, whatever the heck you're wanting to talk about, flats, sharps and flats defined with your clef, and then if anything defies that rule, later on put a natural.
Okay, so I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah. What you're telling us is that when you have a sharp, it continues to be sharp until you hit a natural? Okay. All right, we'll do it right.
Natural cancel out any.
Yes, or end of measure. Okay, all right, we'll do it right.
That's wild. Why is music so hard? Why does everything have to have rules?
All right, we're not doing flats though. You can't make me. Okay.
But flat symbols are so fun.
Sorry.
My choir teacher always said that flats look like flat tires. That's how you draw them. Like, all right, I don't.
That's incorrect.
I don't know. Don't forget double sharp and double flat. All right. I'm sorry, Arduino's just making stuff.
We are not doing double sharp and double flat. They are. That's.
And to be clear, I'm just making a joke. I have seen double sharps and double flats in the wild.
I know, but you don't need them. They're optional, right?
For me, all of this seems optional. Like, I feel like, like rules, like you define them, and if you break them later on, you fix them ad hoc. Like that's
what I'm saying is there are multiple ways to represent mini notes on the staff, right? And let's see. Arduino says they're only needed for stupid scales like C sharp major. They're not actually needed though, because there are a million different ways to, like the stuff that we're going to produce is still going to be valid. It might not be the convention, but it will be readable as music,
I've never heard of a C sharp major scale. That sounds ridiculous. Hey, I'm sorry, Arduino. Can you point me to a song or a composition that uses C sharp major? Now I'm really curious of what that sounds like. I guess I can look it up myself.
Yeah, I don't know why you're putting this on Arduino, man.
Yeah, that's my bad. All
right, we're gonna go ahead and draw our note. So you put the lines after, right? So we're gonna go ahead and just
Okay.
bump
I
this
did turn
guy
on the
over.
bot in the end. Also, that was your 100th quarter exactly, Richard.
Oh, nice. So
Wow!
25
Happy
bucks.
quarter anniversary. Oh yeah, happy $25.
Happy $25 indeed. All right. This is our up note, I guess. I feel like it should be a little taller actually. Let's see. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's right. I think we just need to up the height just a little bit. We'll make the height be 20, and we'll make this width be, I don't know, 10, 9, I guess. It would look so much prettier if we were doing quarter notes. But alas. Okay. So, are we going to do rests also? We are. We are going to do rests.
You have to, right? Because you have the rest in the other thing, in the other representation. Wow. Apparently, Sugar by Maroon 5 is in C sharp major, and also Never Gonna Give You Up is in C sharp major. That rules. Well, now I know. Now I know that C sharp major is the best major scale.
Okay. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to draw all these.
Well, aren't we only doing what's ours? If we're gonna do only 16th notes, we only have to do 16th rests.
Well, but if you do 2 rests, that's an 8th rest, right?
Oh. Or yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Okay. I gotta drop off to head to that thing. Do that yourself.
Oh my gosh, it's 2. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
wild.
Yeah.
We're
Bye, Joey.
out of time for today. Thanks for joining, everybody. Join us next Friday, where we keep being pestered by Unsigned Arduino about musical theory. Just kidding, Unsigned Arduino. Please keep us honest. Reminder, we have a mini game jam going on right now. It's destruction themed, so make your games for that. We're going to play them at the end of the month, just like always. And Unsigned Arduino says, don't forget dotted and double dotted and triple dotted and quarter dotted notes and rests. We're all 16th notes, so we don't have any dotted notes, but we could do that for rests. That's true.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
For oh, I guess if you have 3 rests in a row.
Right. Well, if you have
No.
like again, it's like all optional, right? Like if I wanted to do 3 16th notes, then I could do a 16th note, a 16th rest dotted, right? Or I could do an 8th and a 16th rest. And those are both equivalent.
Yeah.
I believe that the way double dotted and triple dotted works is you just multiply all by 1.5, right? Like I think that's how they all work.
Oh.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So if you do like double dotted, you would do 1.5 times 1.5. Anyway. Don't take my word for it though. Again, we are not experts. I really like how cute this little thing is gonna turn out. Like it's gonna be really cute when these notes are going across the bottom, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is fun. Okay. Thanks for joining, everybody. I am Richard at Richard on the MakeCode Forum.
And I'm Sarah at Sarah on the MakeCode Forum.
Oh, and the other thing I wanted to plug is that Coder King 5 was announced. Not official, but apparently it's going to be the last Coder King, so it's the end of an era. Go check that out up on the forum. All right, see you later, everybody.
Bye.